Okay folks, so I've got my silver base coat on all my pieces. I'll pan the camera around so you can see what I got going on. It just looks like a nice silver base coat. Everything's nice and covered. I checked all my edges to make sure I've got full coverage, because if I don't have full coverage, what's going to happen is when I lay my Kandy gold over the top of it, it's not going to have the same color. In other words, let's say down here on the bottom of the tank, it wasn't covered enough. What you're going to do is you're going to see through the clear and through the Kandy, and you're not going to see the silver base shining back at you. What you're going to see is some other ugly ass primer color, and it's not going to give you the same effect. So as you can see, I'm all covered up nice. I've got my House of Kolor shimmering solar gold right here. As you can see right through the color, right at the numbers on my stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going back to the small gun, because what I realized when I was laying my color on, even though these panels are a little bit bigger, what I realized was I was putting an awful lot of material on, and I plan on doing some graphics and stuff on top of this. So the situation being is, you don't want to put any more material on than you absolutely need. So we've got all this primer, then we've got this base coat. Now I'm going to put the Kandy coat. Then it's going to be an Intercoat clear that will allow me to do some artwork on here. We're going to put some graphics, some cool graphics, and some flip-flop tones and that type of stuff on here. So you figure once you get all of that on there, plus you put some graphics on there, and then you clear it maybe once, maybe twice, depending upon what we put on for graphics. If we want to bury it down so it's nice and smooth, we could end up with a lot of material on here. Too much material can cause problems. You can have cracking, solvent popping, crazing, all kinds of things that you don't want to have happen on a paint job that you spend hours and hours on. So I'm going to put my base, my solar gold in, and we're going to make this solar gold. So here we go. Give me 2 seconds, and over here, I know I'm out of your sight, but what I'm doing here is I'm putting my paint into my gun through a strainer, of course, as always. Get that going on, and put the cover on my gun. I'm going to put some air in. Okay, so now I'm back. I make sure I got the air pressure I want, and here we go. Okay folks, Troy with V-Twins to V8s, I'm back. This is my solar gold. I laid it down. It's all my pieces of gold. I've actually I put my first coat of Intercoat clear on there, using a product from a company called Custom Shop. It's very similar to House of Kolor. What this does is it seals down your paint job so that you can tape to it and do artwork on top of it. Let me just put you over here so I can talk to you. There's two ways that paint sticks to a surface or it sticks to itself. First being mechanical, the second being chemical. Mechanical form of adhesion is when you sand something. So when you sand something, you sand those grooves into it, and then the paint you spray onto it grabs onto those grooves, and that's what holds your surfaces together. The other way to do it is chemically. So in other words, you've got a flat surface, you spray material on, and you got your mechanical surface, you sanded it, you spray your paint on, your base coat, your Kandy, whatever you like, it grabs to that sanded area. Now, you're not going to sand your Kandy or your bases like this because it'll make a mess of it. So you're just going to go back over it with something. When you do that, that's a chemical adhesion. So in other words, that's why your windows of opportunity for applying your paint or your Intercoat colors, Kandys, clears all have a window of time because it's going to rely on that chemical reaction, that chemical bond between the two things. So with that being said, this is where I'm at. I am laying my Intercoat clear down so that I can walk away and let this dry. And then tomorrow, the next day, whenever I want to, I can give this a light scuff and I can tape to it. I don't have to worry about causing any damage, any tape tracking, or any of that. And now my artwork is going to adhere mechanically because I've sanded it. And then I make a decision from there. I can add some more artwork. I can put another coat of Intercoat clear over it, and then let it sit, and then do some more, and I can keep building like that if I want to. Or at that point, I can say, hey, I'm done. I did my artwork. It looks great. We'll put some clear on it. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm going to put another coat. So I've got like 2 coats on here, and that will seal me down and keep me out of trouble until I come up with some kind of a fabulous idea of how I'm going to paint the rest of this bike. So I'm going to shut you off. I'm going to put my rest of my clear on, and we're going to be done for today. Okay, folks, I'm back. I've sprayed all my Intercoat clear on my fender and tanks, and that's it. I got all my stuff cleaned up. We're going to let this stuff dry, and then be able to sand it probably up with some 600, and then we'll tape it out with whatever design we come up with. I've got a few that I've been playing around with, and we'll see. You know, I mean, it's one of those things that just depending upon what you feel like when you start at it, that's where you go. I'll show you the tank over here. It's looking pretty good. Could kind of like that, definitely that Kandy glow to it. So this will provide a really nice backdrop for some graphics. So I'm going to do some inserts, I think, in this tank. You know, definitely going to be a 70s look for the chopper, no doubt. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch up with you when we start doing some graphics.